Chapter 1: The Eye of the Solar System.
Cool. The folks at Lagrange Campfire Hub handed me this diary from Earth as a gift. Here's my first diary entry on paper. The rustle of the pen and paper gives a comforting sense of control. Almost a ritualistic vibe. If I press down a bit further, the ink bleeds into the yellowish wood fibers. Honestly, this old-fashioned yet simple method of writing is quite fascinating. Today's journey began amidst a flurry of urgent alarms, forcing me to hurriedly part ways with my father and daughter in my dreams. I quickly put on my glasses and darted to the monitor. On the screen, as dark as spilled ink, a huge eye sparkled, kind of like a pearl floating in the middle of a deep red starry circle, giving off this soft, ghostly blue hue. I took a quick glance at the star atlas, and sure enough, it was the storm Neptune. People on ancient Earth had named it after the god of the sea, Neptune. And boy, did it live up to its name. Right after that, I adjusted the course to steer clear of the Adam's ring. The alarm finally died down. After I managed to catch my breath, a whole new vista opened up. There, not far above Neptune, was this luminous behemoth. And as I got in closer, what looked like a tiny flash and stars around, it started to sharpen into focus. There were beacons in the night, ushering in transport fleets from every side. They all seemed to be heading towards the factories built around this megastructure. From these factories, countless UAVs zipped in and out of the huge triangular structure, moving like a swarm of bees. At that moment, my curiosity turned into sheer admiration. I bet this was that Stargate Prox was talking about over the Lagrange Campfire Hub. She was so pumped when she said, "Just imagine, if it's successful, we will be able to zip right through the Stargate and land on the Proxima just like that." Going from our solar system to Proxima Centauri and back in a blink of an eye, and skipping the risky decades-long voyages. I can't quite wrap my head around that. When that time comes, will the forebears on Earth still recognize the kids from Proxima? And what about our languages, our arts, our calendars, heck, even our religions? Will they clash or come together? So, I don't need to dream anymore. The ship was already on its way. The seemingly bottomless center of the Stargate, like a massive pupil, kept drawing me in. Perhaps, in due time, those of us in the solar system might be reaching out to touch the stars out there.
Chapter 2: Umbriel's Coincidence.
During our video chat this morning, before hanging up, Prox said,
"Hey Gilma, when you swing by Uranus, don't forget to drop by our High Energy Space Research Institute."
She's such a lively young lady. Actually, Prox was the one who welcomed us at the Lagrange Campfire Hub. Nowadays, whether you're on Earth or Proxima, chances are you will come across folks named Proxima, Earth, or Return. Funny enough, my daughter's name was Prox as well. Or to be exact, Proxima, as in Proxima Centauri. It's been decades. I wonder what she looks like now. Just hours before, we made it to the L4 point shared by Uranus and its Umbriel, the site of the Lagrange High Energy Space Research Institute. In essence, it's a colossal research complex. 4 extensive labs: the Warp Drive Institute, the Space Resonance Lab, and the Stargate Engineering Research Center come together to create this silver butterfly clinging to the side of Uranus when it's viewed from afar. Right after Prox registered our identities, we changed into the special research suits and headed to the Space Resonance Lab. On our way, we encountered numerous technicians, each with a different skin color. These leading figures of scientific and technological expertise throughout the solar system are laden with high hopes, but they still took a moment from their tasks to greet us warmly. At the Space Resonance Lab, we were presented with preserved data and footage from the successful space resonance experiment. I was taken aback to learn that this revolutionary breakthrough was essentially due to a random coincidence. I heard that it was simply because the Institute's director was named Lagrange. It reminds me of an old legend from the ancient Earth. Some people say Mendeleev might have envisioned the structure of the periodic table in his dreams. Though we can't verify such a rumor. It's clear that behind all great discoveries, tagged as coincidences, there are innumerable attempts. Who's to say that that isn't some form of inevitability? Considering this, I am even more resolved to move forward into the future.
Chapter 3: Eternal Storm.
Every young one born in the Proxima star system has been raised on the stories of unseen homeland, the solar system. Upon my own journey to the solar system, I saw how it has transformed over the past few centuries. It's now a place that's far from barren, not at all like was described in the accounts of my ancestors. Entering Jupiter's orbit today, my eyes were immediately drawn to the legendary Great Red Spot, known by some as the Eternal Storm, the largest storm on Jupiter. However, orbiting near this great storm were densely packed, spiky towers of stations with numerous tentacles deepening into the cloud layers beneath, constantly extracting hydrogen and methane, a sign of prosperity and grandeur. As our spacecraft passed the twilight zone, the silhouette of Lo drifted across the surface of Jupiter. Looking back through the window, Lo appeared from a distance as a giant artificial base with countless lights glittering like stars. Our fleet docked at Lo's grand spaceport, and after stepping out of the ship, we were greeted by a bustling modern metropolis, a maze of high-rises with energy refineries and manufacturing plants interlaced like a spider web throughout, and a ceaseless flow of trade and cargo ships. As I gazed upon the sight, a longing for Rupert washed over me. It was as if I could hear his chuckle.
There you go. No more daily worries about fuel. Chapter 4: The moon shines upon my home.
Today, our fleet finally made its way into the moon's orbit. Leaning against the bridge's window, I watched as the silent, silver-gray orb became increasingly prominent before me. I could clearly see the craters of different sizes and the Mare Tranquillitatis hidden in the shadows. It was our ancestors' initial space exploration checkpoint, and it remained a major hub and research outpost in our solar system. Ships continually blasted off from the ports on the surface like fireflies in the night. The interstellar fleet darted through lunar orbit like a stream, and colossal mining fields sprawled across the surface, extracting rare minerals from the soil. The base of the moon sparkled with lights like a sky full of stars. And on the moon's far side, there stood a large observatory, silently watching over the infinite universe. Stepping off of the ship, I set foot on the moon. Prox showed me around the historic sites where humans from Earth first touched down. A transparent monument containing the remains of spacecraft in different models and the weathered flagpoles with faded colors. Before the monument was a glass casing, beneath which you could clearly see an incomplete footprint. Prox told me that this footprint represented humanity's very first step onto a celestial body. Inscribed on the monument was the famous quote, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." As I looked at the monument, it seemed to channel our ancient Earth ancestors' unique sentiments towards the moon and space. A deep enchantment in pursuit of the unknown. Suddenly, Prox gestured behind us, urging me to look back. A cerulean sphere was slowly rising from the edge of the horizon. A rush of tears overwhelmed me. That blue, boundless, both familiar and foreign Earth was in sight. We were almost home.
Chapter 5. Launch Site.
By 11 o'clock, we arrived at launch site at the ancient Earth, a site with a history that stretched back thousands of years. Several millennia old, and now several times larger than when it was first built. The site boasts numerous launch towers, sprinkled across what is now a verdant oasis. It's quite astonishing to think this area was once a barren desert. The staff at the launch site told us that this was a departure point for the initial fleets that blazed the trail to Proxima from Earth. The smiling faces of those early voyagers were captured in the photographs, standing right where I stood, waving cheerfully at the onlookers. Beneath them lay the brownish soil, and behind, rockets soared into the clouds, inscribed with "Worlds apart, yet within reach." A line from the ancient Earth that the Proxima residents treated as their creed. After the tour, I stood alone on that empty land for a long time, quietly feeling the pull of Earth's gravity. When I touched the ground, time seemed to whoosh by, and I could feel the profound connection between us and the pulse of this terrain. My eyes misted over. I wanted to catch the next rocket to Proxima so badly, to carry this handful of Earth to those on Proxima. Until then, I'm left to wish in silence for the time to hasten ever so slightly more.
Chapter 6. Dark Clouds.
The past few days have been more wondrous than I could ever imagine. Sailing through the void for half a century, I've seen more expansive universes, visited more dazzling stars, and experienced the unpredictable void of space. But never have I ever encountered a planet as vividly and enchantedly beautiful as Earth. Today, on our way to explore the tropical rainforest near what used to be the Gulf of Mexico, the sky suddenly darkened overhead. I was about to comment on the changing weather, but the sight above stopped me cold. It was not clouds at all, but a lively ocean of orange. Millions of monarch butterflies were flapping their wings with a subtle golden glow of the sunlight, like a scatter of stars, like the coral of the deep, forming a dense, flowing ribbon that found its way through the woods. The tour guide explained to us that monarch butterflies travel several thousand kilometers each year following the sun, traversing peaks and fording rivers to seek out the right habitat for breeding, with plenty of food before they circle back to where they started. This awe-inspiring migration is a 4-generation odyssey. The monarch butterflies, once on the brink of extinction millennia ago, have miraculously survived on Earth. Somehow, this reminded me of the photo back at the launch site. The explorers and that primitive fleet that journeyed from Earth to Proxima. Yes, we humans aren't alone and never will be. We're not the only ones to have left our native homes for the far beyond. Yet, regardless of the myriad of landscapes that we encounter, how many hardships we suffer, or whether we find prosperity or death, in the end, we're bound to come back to where we started.
教我，你就是地球呀。火星。有很多星星和月球。月球不就在宇宙里吗？五彩斑斓像银河系一样。宇宙就是一个平行时空。外星人。
恒星、行星、星云，这是宇宙中的一个外星文明。
我心目中的宇宙应该也存在 艺术、爱与和平和科技。
这就是我理解的中国神话中的宇宙。
我在我家猫咪的眼中看见了宇宙。
冲出太阳系，探索更深层次宇宙。
黑洞，它太可怕了，充满了未知，充满了神秘。
它，
我心目中的宇宙就是根据加缪随身手册的人生10词提炼出来的。仙本那的海，冰岛看火山，挪威看极光。
对于即将毕业的我来说，宇宙就是校园外面的世界。
My universe is the world of music。
这就是我的宇宙。作品及宇宙。
希望我的家乡能够有一支球队，我一直陪伴着他。老婆、孩子、热炕头。
宇宙里会有蛋糕吗
？My universe is my viewfinder。
当我了解完它之后，觉得自己没那么重要。
如果读不了万卷书，那就行万里路。
我心目中的宇宙都在这台电脑里。
我的宇宙就是。
我觉得宇宙像一个伟大的艺术品，
就像这些花一样五颜六色、丰富多彩。
My universe is my baby。
Is sports。
对我而言，宇宙就是自由。
Like this coffee, is it looks like the universe？
我就是我的全宇宙，爱自己，你就是自己的宇宙中心。
宇宙是无限大的，也有无限种可能。作为一个法律人来说，这个问题我是不敢思考。
爸妈有一个健康的身体，儿女有一个很好的学业，
是一片无尽的知识海洋。
我心目中的宇宙就是这家店猛虎，心有猛虎，万事无阻。
我相信有平行宇宙。
The universe has no boundaries, neither does medicine。
宇宙对我来说就是数字。
外星人会不会来到草的地球上的否？
宇宙向往模糊，
整个宇宙里就是一堆繁琐的数字。
可能就是我的骨骸吧。
这个玉呢，就是玉的世界，就是我的宇宙。
我的身体也可能是宇宙吧，我的人生也是宇宙。
好複雜嘅一個體系，所以我哋人類不斷去探索。
多好萬年嘛。
太陽就是宇宙。
宇宙，那随着自然生活，自然是个啥样，咱就是个啥样子。
未来生活就是我的宇宙。
我对宇宙的理解，天空，然后大自然，它都是宇宙。
打乒乓球，做早操，
跳跳舞，姐妹们一块儿周边旅游一下，
安居乐业啊。
不知山下汉朝鲜。
宇宙能给我们带来能量、光、爱。
哎呀，宇宙是我们祖国的大好河山嘛，关心我们的孙子嘛。只要孙子学习好，以前就是把孙子管好就行了嘛。和最好的自己相遇。
到了我们这个年龄吧，就是自己喜欢什么就做什么，
跳跳广场舞。
健康就是我的宇宙，我的全部。
宇宙代表了一个民族、一个国家的胸怀。从物理上来说吧，到现在目前人类对它的研究也是十分有限的。
我们人类对宇宙的认知还很肤浅。
喂，两个老太太。
宇宙啊，就实际上宇宙就是人们活动的一个空间。
太空没有怎么会搞它？
天意令忧愁，人间重晚晴。这就是我小宇宙的写照。
不可说。
书是人类进步的阶梯，书也是医治愚昧的良药，更是探索揭开宇宙宝库的金钥匙。
就是健康，
吃嘛嘛香。
我的宇宙一句话：提杯练字儿，体会中国字儿的奥秘。
不会说，你别让我说。
6个够6个鸟。
其实宇宙什么都不是，翻回来我们也啥都不是。
要平平安安的啊。
天空呢就有太阳啊，有藍天。
就然後日頭就太陽，夜晚就月亮啦。家人就是我的宇宙。
摘花放养花。
宇宙就是咱们的天地空间，所有是大自然。
10号，11号。
打坐要看书，念佛经。
想念我的过去的一些同学或同志。
打麻将，打啊！
有烟了，我是唱了一首。